What is going on, y'all? FaizSportsTalk back at it with another video talking, of course, some NFL, and here to talk about something that I did not expect to talk about, which basically came out of Kyle Long basically going on a rant on Twitter. So I'm here to talk about that. Obviously, you guys see the title, so we will get into it, okay? So with that being said, if you are new to the channel, make sure to go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I do post a ton of NFL content, especially Bears content on the channel, so you are not going to want to miss out. Go ahead and do so. And also, if you're not following me already, make sure to follow me on my social media platforms. As always, links in the description. So with that being said, let's talk about this. What happened? Kyle Long says he was basically fired by the Chicago Bears. Is it true? Is it not? Let's get into it. So the story basically came out of Kyle Long on his Twitter tweeting about the fact that he thought he would never have the itch to ever play again, and how golf is kind of having him get that itch. And then somebody replied to the tweet by saying, "Is that why you retired so early?" And that's when Kyle Long kind of went on a little bit of a rant, and he said the following: "I didn't retire, I got fired. I will know with conviction whether I'm done for good or not in the next few weeks. Full transparency, I miss football, but at what cost? I'm most likely going to be on golf courses instead of gridirons." Okay? And then, you had a number of fans keep replying, obviously, and they said, "Yo, Kyle, come back. The Bears need a right guard." And then he replied, "I would wait for a new staff." Okay? Obviously throwing a little bit of shade at the current Bears coaching staff. And then, he further went on a rant after somebody said, "Spill the tea. Kyle Long, what do you mean by that you would wait for a new coaching staff?" "There is no tea. I got fired," is what he replied. And then continued by saying the decision was made at halftime of the Raiders game, and it was made very clear to me that I wasn't the guy I used to be at halftime. Okay, so a lot to unpack here. Okay, Kyle Long basically calls out the Bears coaching staff, says he would not play for them. Basically, they fired him. The decision was made during halftime of the Raiders game. So let's discuss this, okay? What is actually going on here? So as we all know, Kyle Long retired this past season from the Chicago Bears. He was one of the best offensive linemen we've had in recent memory, a 3-time Pro Bowler, retired after, about 7 seasons, age 31. And here's the thing, okay? In terms of his retirement, it looked like, obviously, Kyle Long decided to walk away because he was dealing with a lot of injuries, and he certainly was, and maybe they just took a huge toll on him, and he just was not the same guy, and so he decided to walk away, right? That is what most Bears fans, a lot of NFL fans were thinking. Well, it turns out now that Kyle Long is saying it was not really his decision per se to retire as much as people think, because the Bears kind of forced his hand. So let's recap, okay? The game he's talking about, the Raiders game, obviously was one of the earlier games. I believe Chase Daniel actually started that game, but Kyle Long played the entire snaps in that game, okay? And then after that game, which the Bears lost, by the way, they should have never lost that damn game. Josh Jacobs went off on us, I remember that. After that game, he was placed on injured reserve, and then his season was essentially over. So here's what I am starting to realize from this, okay? I think what really happened was Kyle Long was certainly not the same guy. And nobody can debate this because it's not even Kyle Long's fault. It was just the injuries. The injuries really did take a toll on him. And if you watch his play, go watch the tape, his play fell off and deteriorated so much so that he was a liability on the field, okay? And so because of that, again, he's been dealing with injuries since 2016. His play deteriorated. He's not the same guy. So obviously either A, you got to replace him, or you got to let him heal up, right? And so it looks like what happened was Kyle Long wanted to play through the injuries, but he was actually hurting the team more than helping the team. And so it looks like the Bears coaching staff decided, "Listen, Kyle, we're not going to bench you because you are Kyle Long and you just deserve better than that because you've been one of our best players over the years. So we're going to go ahead and just put you on an IR to let you heal up," okay? In essence, from Kyle Long's perspective, firing him because it doesn't look like it was Kyle Long's decision. He wanted to play, but the Bears wanted to put him on IR. Okay, so they did that. Kyle Long's like, okay, you know, what the heck? They put me on IR. I didn't want to go on IR. You know what? Screw this. I'm done. And Kyle Long retires. And I'm guessing, again, the Bears would not have wanted Kyle Long to retire. Maybe they have him come back, you know, but they obviously declined his option. But part of the reason was obviously the fact that he did retire. But here's the thing, like the play had deteriorated at that point, okay? It was not the same guy. Now, whether or not he was going to get back to that level, we don't know. But now it makes sense why we had heard rumors about the Jets making Kyle Long come out of retirement, other teams inquiring, because Kyle Long didn't want to retire, and it looks like he was forced to a little bit by the Bears. And actually, I wouldn't even say forced to. He was put in a position where he felt like he was forced to retire because, like I said, the Bears essentially didn't want to bench him, and so they put him on IR, and Kyle Long didn't like that, and he retired, okay? Kind of out of spite, really, okay? That's my take on it, and essentially that's what ended up happening, and now it looks like he's got an itch to play again, and he probably wants to return to the NFL, but why he said he wouldn't play for this coaching staff is they told him straight to his face, you're done, you can't play. Maybe those weren't the exact words, but you get my point. That is why they put him on IR, okay? So it makes sense, right? And so I do believe Kyle Long wants to come back and play football, but he doesn't want to do it for this coaching staff because of those comments that they made and because they forced him to go on IR. And that's why I think he wants to come back probably for another team if he does come back, or if he comes back for the Bears, it would have to be under a new coaching staff. Now, here's my quick 2 cents on what the Bears did as far as their decision. I still believe it was the right decision to put Kyle Long on IR because he was hurting us more than he was helping us. But I don't believe the Bears, should have, forced his hand. If he really felt like, he could recover, maybe give him that opportunity, right? But they didn't do that, so they were wrong there. And here's the thing with Kyle Long. He was not the same guy. He knows that. Everybody knows that. So until he was the same guy, Kyle Long should not have been on the field, okay? Because, again, like I said, he was hurting the Bears more than he was helping them. And so that's essentially what ended up happening. So I do think there's fault here with the Bears, okay? And then Kyle Long kind of getting retiring out of spite probably wasn't the wisest decision because he wants to come back. But that is essentially the drama here. That's the T. The Bears basically didn't want to bench Kyle Long, so they put him on IR. Kyle Long didn't like that. He retired, kind of out of spite. Now he wants to come back, but not for this coaching staff, but for another one or possibly another NFL team. Now, whether or not Kyle Long comes back, I doubt it, but let's see what happens. I wish him the best of luck. And obviously, if he's, back to the Kyle Long that we know and love, I'd love to have him on the Bears because we definitely do need a right guard. So with that being said, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below what you think of this situation. Who is right, who is wrong with the Bears and with Kyle Long? Let me know down below. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, and thanks for watching.